Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Fitfam podcast. This is Miss Natural Olympia Hilary.
And this is Doug, the Formulator.
And today we thought we would talk about love.
Love. And we're talking about love today because tomorrow is...
Valentine's Day.
It is Valentine's Day.
Cupid. There.
Is that what that was?
Wrong sound gun. So... we thought we'd play with this, and we're not even going in very scripted today on this, but to really think about the concept of love and talk about our own maybe definitions of it. We don't even know what each other's going to say, but also wrap that around to, if you truly love someone and the definition of love, then what are you going to personally do to show up? And so I'll be on the spot. Let's start off. What do you think the definition of love is?
Wow, that's not nice. I feel like the definition of love is, I don't know if it's the definition of love, but I feel like love is loving someone as they are and also loving them as they were and loving them as they will be and staying true and loyal as that process takes place.
Wow, that's deep. I like that. I think that just to be open with it, I think that it's definitely evolved for me. I grew up thinking, being in the decade of decadence in the 80s and the 90s, that love was just this feeling.
Yeah.
And that really, to me, at this point, is not true. That although it can be a feeling, that I think the best definition I heard of it was charity, that love is charity. And then if you look up the definition of charity, it's really just selflessly giving yourself to someone without asking or feeling like you need something in return. And so I think for me...
Yeah, I think that's an easy thought when you think about the deepest love as far as, parental child love, that you don't expect anything in return and you would give anything, right?
What.
Yeah,
Right.
No matter what.
And, as parents, now we're just getting into the OG and Yaya stage. Normal people call it the grandmother, grandfather stage. That I wish that you would start off being grandparents, to tell you the truth, because there's such this feeling of love, of just wanting to give. And now that we've raised kids, looking back at it, saying, man, how many times should I have just loved in the moment and not even try to jump in the way or change things or give opinions of anything, just loved and, care and love and trust enough that it'd work out. And at the times you want to teach things that you've learned and stuff, that's super important. I don't mean just let them go, but I would definitely, now of having grandchildren and that just deep love of just wanting to love and serve, and it really, just being there no matter what, I think is really, really cool. And definitely our kids maybe felt the brunt of the other sometimes when I've like,
Yeah.
oh, what you did.
I think sometimes when you're in the midst of parenting kids, you get caught up a little bit in the do's and don'ts and how you should be and how you shouldn't be and the proper way to behave. And it is important to raise
And
with
teach principles.
and teach principles. But I think you're right. I think now being a grandmother, and then as I watch my son discipline his oldest son, there's been times in the past that I've had to leave the room because my heart can't take it. My heart just can't take watching, my grandson having to learn specific lessons.
And it's the right lesson, right?
And it's
the
the
father
right
did the
lesson.
right thing.
Yeah, but it's just, it's different.
It is. So really, how do we, take the Fitfam podcast and bring it now? Why are we talking about love besides it just being this time of year with Valentine's and that probably already happening a few weeks by the time you watch this, or at least a few days. But I think that a lot of the concepts, when we watch people either win at trying to improve their health, reduce body fat, achieve goals, even the athletes, accomplish their goals and stuff, or learn. So, we used to call it lose, but when they learn, whether, they win or they learn, and taking a look at that concept and saying, really, what's the difference most of the time? And most of the time that it comes down to, do we truly love something? And the people that truly love what they're doing, they go that extra mile when it's tough. They love it no matter what. I think it's a lot I've heard many times, and with God saying there's many times that he might not like what you're doing,
Yeah.
but he loves you anyways.
Yeah.
He loves you. And I think that as far as health is concerned, it's that same concept. If you truly love the understanding and importance of respecting your body and being in the best shape you can and being present in the moment to be able to serve others and that, then you're going to be okay with the times to not eat these foods or to get out and exercise when you don't feel like it or do these different things because you love the end result more. You love the concept of, I want to be present. I want to be the inspiration. I want to be here for them and for my grandkids and my grandkids. And I think that if you truly love it and understand it, then you will follow more correct principles, or at least start working on them, if you can really change your mindset to truly love health.
Yeah, I love that. I love the concept of loving your health enough to know when the sacrifices are super important and to put that number one. And I think I'm just going to add on to that, when you do live that way and that is your way of life consistently, then you do know the times that it's okay to sacrifice a little bit of the health for the love of the moment. And if you're that healthy, sometimes it's not that big of a deal. And what I'm talking about is moments of pleasure. I'm talking about moments of ice cream experiences where, health might not be the number one thing in that moment. And the overall feeling of love and connection and excitement is the number one. Then if you're living, 90% of your life in that health mode and really keeping yourself as healthy as possible, as fit as possible, doing all the things, then those moments are easy.
Yeah, and so it comes back to kind of like life, right? Like I believe life is mainly about growth and experiences, and that we constantly work to grow in all areas of our life the best we can. There's going to be ups and downs and valleys, but we're just striving to grow and not stay stagnant, and definitely try not to go backwards. But no matter if we get hit, knocked down, that we keep working to grow and then create experiences. I think that's one of the things that we've looked back and said, you know what, one of the things that we definitely felt that we tried hard to do right and we felt good about is we've always tried to create experiences no matter what. And a lot of times those experiences are, like Hilary said, having a treat food or something like that with the kids or with the grandkids. But we can look at them and say, hey, all the times before that and after that, or much of the time before and after that, we love health and we're living these principles so that when we have that moment to have that experience, our children and grandchildren know that it's a special time. It's not like it's every day where they're eating crap. Oh, this is what you do in life. And I think it's really, really cool.
And, fitness wise, I think I've got to be in the best shape of my life to keep up with my 2-year-old. I have never met anyone in my entire life, including his father, who was wildly active and excited constantly, that is like him. And so I will continue to keep my fitness level as high as I can, because I want to be able to keep up with him the best way that I can, as long as I can. This last week we were down visiting and he wanted to go to the park, and so we went to the park and he wanted to climb up the stairs and he wanted to go across the net. Yep. The net, walking across it, and he started climbing. He says, come on, Yaya. And so Yaya climbing up the stairs and walking across the net. And I want to be able to do that, not just with my first grandson, but with my second grandson and all of the ones that are coming after.
Right. And hopefully even the great grandchildren, right, to a point.
Whoa.
So yeah. But I think that for the Fitfam podcast, I hope that what we're working to get across to you is that we'd like you to take a look at your health and create a paradigm shift, if you would, of how you look at the word love and say, gosh, you know what? I really do love the concept and the principles of being healthy for others, because again, love is charity. And so I love that because I do care about others enough to want to be able to show up and be there and be present. And I also like the concept of our children, and we've learned this in many times, is yeah, once in a while they'll listen to what you say, but really when you look later on in life, a decade later, 2 decades later, that we're at now with our children and things like that, and how they live their life, really the things that they do now, that you had an influence on, were more of the things based on what you did, not what you said.
Yeah.
And so it is your actions every day that really is important. And the other day, I walked with my grandson to a store and we got a cupcake. And it was really cool because he was
There's a
like,
cupcake? I thought it was a donut.
"Cupcake." Oh, you know what? You're right. It was a chocolate donut. It's funny. And we got a donut, and it was like, donut OG. It was kind of like cool because he was excited about it, but he also knew that it was not normal, for OG to get this. And I thought to myself, really, that's really cool, because it's even more special now in the moment. And it's not like you're teaching a bad principle by enjoying and having experiences, because you're letting know that you can be in the world but not of the world, that there are times to be able to create an experience and an enjoyment. And so love really comes down to that, is charity and selflessly thinking about others and working to create those experiences. And you can do that by just following the basic principles, right? On the daily, your children or your influence, people that you see, they see that you're following principles that help you reach optimal health, that you're eating the right things, doing the right things, and that will then in turn lead them to be inspired and to know that you truly love, right, health, and you love them.
Well, and I think too, when you think about love, the things that you've gotten, that you've been most satisfied with, the things that you have most loved, there was sacrifice involved, right? For those that have gone to school and gotten their degrees, there was so much sacrifice involved in that, and yet it's paid off in dividends. When you've sacrificed, you've gone, for those that served missions and sacrificed 2 years of their life and then came back and found someone, and, being able to sacrificing, for something bigger than what you have creates the most love for it. So there's going to be sacrifice involved in creating the best health. And so, but it will show, and you will love it that much more. If it was super easy to become immediately healthy and immediately fit, then how much would we appreciate it?
Yeah, it's giving up something now for something better, right? You're sacrificing the moment for the better, and that is a great example of that. And I think one other thing I want to point out towards love, when we look back now with our children and think about moments with them, there's very few moments when it was just sitting around doing nothing, watching TV, aimlessly, or doing things like that is a memory. But there was a ton of memories when we had them out in our little, small bedroom gym together. There's a ton of memories. We're doing little push-up contests. There are tons of memories of being out on the trampoline. There's tons of memories when we were being active that created a memory, an experience for a lifetime. And so really, when you're looking at reaching optimal health and thinking about love, you can also create experiences that, because your endorphins are going, your mind's creating oxytocin and those types of things during exercise, it creates a memory a lot better than just times when you're sitting around and not doing much. You're not really creating many memories in those situations.
What are all the hormones involved in love?
That's a really good point. And so if you think about it, and you look at the research on it, just the feeling of love will create an interesting balance between endorphins, serotonin, and dopamine in the brain. They call the love triangle. That is this combination of those three that your body will secrete that gives that feeling of love. In fact, so much so that your body will give off an actual scent. And I know there's things and gimmicks on the internet and stuff where you buy these perfumes and things that are supposed to be the right? The pheromones, right? That give, because it's a true thing that you get off that scent per se, and it's because of the chemical reaction in the body. And the chemical reaction can't happen at the level it needs to unless there is actual movement. And so it's really cool to think about. You can create better experiences and love by movement and being active with people, and that is it's a very interesting.
Let's segue.
What is our segue?
Let's segue into what your love language is.
Oh, here we go.
No, like for real.
What is my love language?
I would recommend people read The 5 Love Languages. I think it's a phenomenal book, and it's a great book to read with your significant other. Since it's Valentine's Day, we can talk about your significant other and the love that you have for them. What is your love language, Doug?
Oh, what is it?
Is that a joke?
I don't remember.
Physical touch.
Touch. Oh, that is it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And
I think words of affirmation.
Absolutely. I think when Hilary will come up and just put her arms around me or hold my hand or even be present, not even necessarily personal touch, but she's present, like when I'm speaking or different places, I am complete. So it's definitely being together.
Oh, so that's another one too.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what's yours?
I'm a lot. I think I'm a good combination of all of them. I do like to receive gifts. I also love words of affirmation. I feel like I need words constantly. And I do like, what's the one where you like have the attention? I like it when you give me all of your attention.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just that singleness of attention focused just on you and other things.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that you are a good balance of them. But it's important to know the love languages. I'll definitely give you that in that book. It's good to know and then focus on, because I'm not so much a person at all that if you give a gift to, I'm not really the gift, like I like it, but it's not that big a deal to me. I'd rather be present. I always tell my kids, they ask, what do you want for Christmas? I want a letter. Just write me a letter. Tell me how you feel, and that type thing, and be present. Like if you guys can all be there, then I'm the happiest guy in the world. And even though for Hilary it is a lot of gifts, it's not always, it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a financial gift. It could be, oh, I see that you spend a lot of time in this gift versus the amount of money. And I've learned that it's more about, do I spend actual quality time in preparing?
It's quality
something?
time.
It is quality time. That's
the word. It's quality time.
And so, and it's a great thing I like that you segue into that, because I highly recommend that. It's definitely a book. The love language, it's called 5 Languages.
The 5 Love Languages.
We've read it a few times driving from Utah and back, or different places.
I'm surprised you remember that.
Yeah, it's about driving back from Utah.
And I was asking you all the questions.
Yeah, because it was in
take a quiz.
So, so I think that with that, most of the books that I recommend and read are either technical books or very big self-help books. And this is probably one of the biggest self-help books that's not in necessarily the self-help category. Yeah. And that it really helps with communication. That is, again, comes back.
Yeah, because if I'm constantly even a well thought out gift means a lot to me, because I like the concept of you taking the time to make sure something happens and then take the time to give it to me and present it to me like in a special way. That means a lot to me. But if I did the same thing for Doug, which I did do today, it's just not the same for him. He receives love differently than I receive love.
Kind of. Yeah. And so this is the 13th, and today's a big deal for us. It's like a 10-year anniversary of something really special in our life. But then tomorrow, the 14th, she'll like it, because it's all planned out, and it'll be really, really cool. And it'll affect her different than like me. So, but
okay, I think that's it. I think our love talk's over.
So look, here's the deal. Love is really charity. and charity is giving yourself without expecting something in return. And I think in a marriage especially, how great can it be that if you do things for your mate not expecting something in return, it's because you love, can create the greatest relationship. And then with that, the communication, going back to the first of the concept of us, even the previous podcast, about data and things like that we get that. So great job on that. Boom, way to wing that love thing.
I don't know that this is ever going to
Well,
air.
and let us know if this really helps you or not. But
Oh, man.
this is something that's really, we love at the deepest level. And I think that for many that know us and our history, it really has come down to that we started off with this deep love, and we knew that was there no matter what. And it was that we loved unconditionally and gave to each other, because we both went through different things, and it was really awesome to be able to start off with that, and it's held us through decades now. So awesome. So again, let us know if these are the type of topics that you would like. We're kind of off a little bit.
Don't tell us on this one.
And subscribe, and would love to continue to share this time with you. Thanks so much spending your time with us. It means the world to us that you'd even listen to us. Sometimes being a little crazy, but it's love. Sometimes love's crazy.
Sometimes love's crazy.
This is Miss Natural Olympia Hilary.
This is the love doctor. Just kidding.
Don't listen to that song from Kiss. No, Dr. Love. Anyway, the Formulator. Love you guys. Take care.